Now, Zimbabwe's presidential-elect Emmerson Mnangagwa, who won the controversial August elections, has taken office today. The biggest opposition party, Citizens Coalition for Change, received more than 40% of the votes, while Mnangagwa's party, ZANU-PF, won with more than 50% of the votes cast. In addition to attending the inauguration, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa commended the Zimbabwean government and people on organizing and conducting free and fair elections. Meanwhile, only 3 presidents from the region were in attendance, with Zambian President, who is also the chairman of the SADC, Hikeinde Hichilema, being absent. The elections were declared by the African Union, SADC, and other institutions, said it is not free and fair. Now, journalist Blessed Mlanga was at the inauguration and now joins me from Harare. Blessed, thank you so much for talking to us this afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me. Good afternoon.
So, what is the mood like in Harare as President Mnangagwa has been inaugurated for the second term, and who were the notable attendees?
So certainly the mood in Harare is that of joy among supporters of the ruling party, which has been in power for the past 43 years. But if you are to walk into the streets, generally, if you walk in the streets, the people of Zimbabwe are unmoved, they are unfazed. It's not like we've just come out from a major election. And when you also look at the major attendees, you find that only 3 heads of states from SADC attended this meeting, this inauguration rather, and this will also translate to 3 heads of states from the entire African continent, and 3 heads of states from the world who attended this. So just basically 3. But we also had a former Vice President Mpekezela Mpoko, who was ousted from power in the military coup that happened in 2017, attending. We had the wife of the late former president of Zimbabwe, Grace Mugabe, also coming in to congratulate President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who took oath of office today. She also came with her children to this inauguration party, and obviously we are invited to this State House luncheon, which is happening right now. We also had the former Vice President Joyce Mujuru, who was ousted from power through internal party factions in ZANU-PF before Emmerson Mnangagwa was elevated to Vice President of Zimbabwe. And then you had the general people who also attended, almost filling up the National Sports Stadium, which is a 60,000 seater. Most of these bussed free by using state-owned Zupco buses, and also attracted with the free food and drinks that were dished out at the National Sports Stadium.
So what about the Citizens Coalition for Change? It's been said that they've stepped down from continuing with the probing of Mnangagwa's reign, saying that they do not have faith in the Zimbabwean judiciary to actually process the case and come out with a justice for them and for the people that they say they represent. So why is it that they are choosing to step down, and what is the rationale behind that statement?
So just to correct you, they're not stepping down. They've just not gone to court to challenge this in court. They have chosen to use political and diplomatic pressure, because they believe that once they go to court and they lose that case in court, given that it appears that the judicial system is not independent from the executive, for various reasons, which if we have time, I will give you the details. But they have chosen to instead go to SADC, go to the AU, and engage the international community and give them the evidence that they have that this election, according to them, was not free and fair. And also according to the SADC, the Southern Africa Development Committee was very clear that this election did not meet the SADC principles and guidelines, and did also not meet the Zimbabwean constitution itself. And the head of mission for SADC, Dr. Nevis Mumba, was clear that an election that does not meet legal requirements cannot produce a result that is credible. So because of that, the CCC has decided not to go to court, because once they go to court and the Constitutional Court declares that this election was free and fair, they then lose even the understanding that has been brought in by SADC, by the AU, and also by the EU, and all notable international observers who were in the country has dismissed this election as a farce. So on the judges just before this election were given money which is not part of their terms of service and condition, and they were given 400,000 United States dollars. Now this is just almost $500,000 which was given to them as freebies, and these judges are expected to sit in this. If the CCC had challenged, we expected to sit and decide this matter, and CCC felt that going to court clearly would not serve their interests, so they're engaging diplomatic and political pressure. In the words of Nelson Chamisa, when he spoke to myself, he said that we're not going into their comfort zone. He believes that court is their comfort zone. He said, I'm not going into their comfort zone. I am going to play this game on the political scale and make sure that they are uncomfortable.
Blessed, well, when we look at it, we discover that there have been different accusations by different people from different quarters saying that regional institutions, the ECOWAS, the African Union, and other African institutions have always kept quiet in the face of utter disregard for electoral processes and democratic processes in African countries. So when the CCC says it will employ diplomatic means and go to SADC, what is the assurance that anything will be done?
So there's this issue that AU, SADC, and ECOWAS have always respected what they call sovereignty of the nation, where they prefer not to interfere. But history will record that in Zimbabwe, where SADC has put Zimbabwe on its agenda, there has been some concessions that have been won out of this. For instance, we got the 2013 we got the 2013 constitution following intervention by SADC. We also got electoral reforms attached to which resulted in election results being posted outside polling stations, which resulted in the voters' roll also being availed to opposition political parties. So when SADC has attempted to do something, it does not necessarily change wholesale or overturn results as it may, but it looks for concessions that pushes the country towards a future more acceptable and democratic elections. But also to note that the biggest challenge that you will have in the SADC region is that most of the ruling parties in SADC are born out of revolutionary parties, those that fought a war for liberation. And they believe that once one of them is removed, it means all of them are going to fall. So in South Africa, you have the ANC. In Namibia, you've got SWAPO. And these believe that the removal of one of them will lead to a wholesale fall in all of them in the region. So they have a tendency of protecting each other so that they continue to protect what they call the revolutionary legacy. And they believe that those who didn't go to war will sell the country to the West. So this is the challenge that faces Zimbabwe, that faces the CCC, because it's not a party grounded in the revolutionary war.
Okay, Blessed, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much for having me.